10 chess opening principles so you can win all of your chess games. Number 1. Control the center. It is very important to play moves which control the center, because if you control the center, you control a very key part of the board, which many of your pieces will want to control and go to in the future. As you can see here, us playing white have controlled the center, whereas black has only controlled the flanks, and here white has a major advantage and is doing much better. On to number 2. Tip number 2, develop your minor pieces early on. The minor pieces are the knights and also your bishops, and this is very important for 2 reasons. Number 1, knights and bishops are very good at defending but also attacking, as you can see, your opponent's king. And secondly, it also clears the path for your king to castle, just like so, which we're going to come on to in the next tip. That leads us nicely onto our next tip, castling early. Castling early is extremely important because it keeps your king very nice and cozy in the corner of the board, and this allows you to start developing your pieces later on and getting them out and start attacking your opponent's king without having to worry about your king being attacked as well. Tip number 4. Don't move the same piece twice in the opening unless either you really have to or if it does something spectacular. This is what I mean. We're going to go into a position like this, for example, and they're going to play bishop c5. You might think knight d5 might be a good move for whatever reason, but in reality this move doesn't do very much, so think back to what we learned earlier. Instead, in this position, we should prioritize development of our minor pieces, and then after they play something like knight f6, we can then castle our king, prioritizing our king safety as well. This would be a much better way of going about this position. Tip number 5, don't make any unnecessary pawn moves. What I mean by this is, let's say e4, e5, the most common position in chess, it's been played billions of times, and then you go and play a move like h3. This does absolutely nothing, because then after a move like knight f6, you're all of a sudden being the one attacked, and then you have to defend. When in this position, you could have played the move knight f3, a nice developing move of your minor pieces, as we've seen earlier, to making them have to defend their pawn instead. This is a very nice tip, and I hope you guys use this a lot. Not moving the same piece twice and also not making any unnecessary pawn moves all tie into the next tip, tip number 6, which is always developing with something called purpose. For example, e4, e5, as we said earlier, the most common position ever in chess, and then we'll play knight f3. This is a purposeful move and attacks the pawn on e5 as it has no defender, forcing the move knight c6, and then we'll play bishop c4. This develops our bishop and also prepares us castling. And then after a move like knight f6, which is purposeful by them because it attacks our pawn on e4, we will then play knight c3. This defends our pawn, and then in the future we will castle our king and incorporate all the other things we've learned in this video and then get a great position. Now on to tip number 7. Tip number 7 of chess opening principles is not moving your queen out early for absolutely no reason, and it's pretty self-explanatory as to why, because you do not want your games looking something like this, where your queen is just getting attacked anywhere it goes, and then it's going to have to go back to its starting square, and black has just made a load of moves with you having only developed your knight and your queen ending back on its starting square, as you said earlier. You do not want your queen to be traveling across the world and doing absolutely nothing. Instead, you want to save it later for the middle game and the end game, where it can really use its true strong powers. The next tip is connecting your rooks, and this is done for the reason that your rooks work better and cooperate better, much better when they're connected. They defend each other and they can attack pieces with each other as well. And this usually happens after castling, and then you'd get a position where you're all making nice and forcing moves such as these, and then you'll play bishop d5, let's say something like bishop d7, and then we'll play queen d2. And as you may have noticed here, not only have we created a battery with our queen on d2 and our bishop on g5, we have also connected our rook on a1 with our rook on f1, and this just simply allows our rooks to be connected, and this means that they defend each other, as we said earlier, and in the end game can become really strong when these files will start to all open up, and then you can play moves like rook b1, attacking this pawn on b7, and then maybe even bring this rook to b1 as well. And when they're connected, they just work really well, and that is a very important thing, and also a more high level concept which you guys can incorporate into your games as well. So now we go on to tip number 9, which is going to be watching for threats. As we said during tip number 8, the next tip was going to be watching for threats, and this is precisely what I mean. If you've been playing chess for a little while, or have just been scouring YouTube for how to get checkmates very quickly, you will know that there are these 4-move checkmates which you have to be very wary of, and they can go for either white or black. And here's a nice example. We'll play bishop c4, they'll play bishop c5, and we'll play knight c3, and here they play queen f6. And you may see here, you also might not notice, that this queen on f6 is attacking f2, and so is the bishop on c5, and you have to be wary of this. You have to watch out for threats, and what you do with this is you simply block them so that the queen and the bishop can no longer team up on f2 and stop the checkmate. Also, another good thing about knight f3, by the way, is that the queen cannot actually come here because you can simply take it. So the thing to take away from this little tip is that always watch for threats and little cheeky people who might try and get checkmate within 4 or 5 moves in your games. Now let's go to tip number 10. The final tip I would love for you guys to take away from this video is simply to enjoy chess and enjoy the openings that you play. Pick an opening that you enjoy which also incorporates the opening chess principles which you want to play as well. This will help you not only play better but also enjoy your chess more, which will make you play better as a result, of course. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and that like button, and see you guys soon in future videos. Bye bye.